Overthinking feels like problem solving, but most of the time, it quietly replaces action. The mind convinces itself that thinking longer will bring clarity, that if you just analyze the situation a little more, consider a few more possibilities, or replay the scenario one more time, the right answer will appear. But what often happens instead is something different. Thinking becomes a substitute for moving forward. Overthinking doesn't always feel dramatic. Sometimes it looks very ordinary. You imagine worst-case scenarios that haven't happened. You change your mind repeatedly about decisions you already made. You replay conversations in your head long after they ended. You lose sleep over things that happened days, months, or even years ago. And sometimes the mind stays so busy analyzing the next step that the step itself never happens. From the outside, it may even look like you're being careful, responsible, thoughtful. But internally, your energy is being pulled in circles. Nothing is actually closing. Nothing is actually moving. The mind overthinks because it's trying to create control. When the future feels uncertain, thinking feels like preparation. When decisions feel risky, thinking feels like protection. And when the mind believes the outcome must be perfect, thinking becomes endless. The mind starts scanning every possibility, every outcome, every mistake that could happen. But the more possibilities the mind tries to manage, the more unstable everything begins to feel. Instead of clarity, you get noise. Instead of direction, you get hesitation. Instead of movement, you get delay. Over time, the mind becomes very active, while your actions become very small. This is where something important happens. Thinking begins to replace action. Instead of taking the next step, you keep analyzing the step. Instead of deciding, you keep reconsidering. Instead of moving forward, you keep preparing to move. And the strange thing about this pattern is that it can feel productive. Because mentally, you're doing a lot. You're evaluating, planning, imagining outcomes. But externally, nothing changes. Days pass, opportunities pass, energy slowly drains. Not because you're incapable, but because the system never moves into action. Overthinking doesn't just delay action. It slowly replaces the things that allow progress to happen. Action becomes hesitation. Decisiveness becomes second-guessing. Self-trust becomes doubt. And time quietly disappears. You start feeling like you're stuck. Like discipline is harder than it should be, but often the problem isn't discipline at all. It's that your mind never leaves the thinking stage. Clarity rarely comes from thinking endlessly. It usually appears once movement begins. Once you take the step, once you close the loop, once you allow action to replace analysis. The mind often believes it needs perfect certainty before moving, but most of the time, certainty appears after movement starts, not before. So if you find yourself thinking in circles, pause for a moment. Ask yourself a simple question. Am I thinking to understand, or thinking to avoid moving? Because the difference between progress and stagnation is often very small. It's the moment when thinking ends and action begins.